One winter break ago, my family and I were going to China for a family vacation. We were just in Vietnam for a week to celebrate Christmas with our grandparents. However, the second half of our trip, our family decided to go to China for New Year's. We are planning to stay there for a week before we head back to school. I thought going to China with most of my family on my dad's side would be fun and exciting. However, it's much tougher than I thought when there were so many of us. We haven't even got on the plane to China before I realized it was going to be tough traveling with my huge family. My family was super excited because this is the first time most of my entire family is going on a family vacation to a different country besides Vietnam. On my dad's side of the family, there are my grandparents, my family of 5, my Aunt Lynn with my uncle and my 4 cousins, my Aunt Mai with her husband and her daughter, and 2 of my other cousins. In total, there were 18 of us going to China. Some of my other cousins, aunts, and uncles didn't go because my cousins were too young, so they had to stay home. But if everyone did go, there would have been 23 of us. Can you imagine going on a vacation with 18 people? Going on vacation with just your family alone is very stressful. The first stop to get to China is getting on the plane, but getting to the plane was a bit harder than I expected since there were so many of us. When we got to the airport, we had to get our boarding passes. My Uncle Russell was in charge of our boarding tickets because he is the one that has taken us around in China since he is from there. Uncle Russell had to check in all 18 of us and check in all 36 luggages and carry-on. That took a while to get everything settled. The next stop in the airport was to get past the airport security gates and international gates. For the airport security gates, we had to get each individual to the gate and put all our individual items in the baskets. We had to take off our shoes, jackets, laptops, phones, jewelry, etc. that it could be scanned. That took even longer than we had anticipated since it was also rush hour around the time we got there. After getting through the security, we had to put back on our jackets and shoes and put everything back to where it belonged. However, my Aunt Mai got stopped because apparently she had left scissors in her carry-on, and that was a no-no. For the international security gate, we had to get permission to leave the country since we were in Vietnam already. Each family had to wait in a different line so that they can get access to leave. This part took forever because each line was different and we had to wait on each other. I was starting to realize going on this trip with this many people was not a good idea. After getting through the gates, some of my cousins got hungry and wanted to find food, so my family decided to find some snacks and get some magazines. That was a bad idea since we were on time crunch. No one was paying attention to the time, and we realized that we were going to be late for our flight, so we tried to gather everyone together and hurry to our boarding gate, but that didn't go so well. Not really thinking about how far we needed to get to our gate, we didn't realize it was super far. And when we realized we needed to get to our gate, there were 5 minutes left before our plane took off. All my cousins, sisters, and I started running through the airport trying to find the gate so that it wouldn't leave without us. My grandparents, aunts, uncles, and parents were just laughing at us and taking their sweet time. They didn't understand that we had to hurry. They were so slow. It felt like we were running forever to find our gate. When we finally arrived at our boarding gate, we were at least 10 minutes late for our flight. However, they were nice enough to wait for us. The adults were still nowhere to be found when we had gotten to the gate. They took their time to get there. I was not very happy when they finally arrived. Thankfully, the airplane waited for us. Throughout my trip at the airport, I learned that I should never go on a trip with so many people. Going on a trip with my family was and is frustrating, especially if there were 18 of us. You would think it would be fun to go to a different country with all your family, but it's actually exhausting. Don't do it. Another lesson that I learned is to eat and be prepared for anything before getting to the airport. You never know if you're going to be late. And also, eating at the airport is expensive. And the last lesson that I learned is to get to the airport hours before your flight takes off. My family did arrive at least 3 hours beforehand. However, we didn't think about how big a family was and what obstacles we had to face. So therefore, we were late for our flight. However, in the end, we were able to make it to China safely and had an amazing time there.